Hey everyone, Mike here, Rusty Garage and Homestead. Thank you all for being here. Today we're going to do an unboxing to a product that was sent to me that I think has a lot of uses around the homestead. So let's see what it is. So this is it. It is a portable power station sent to us from JXWVU. Now if you're interested in this, I will go ahead and put links down in the description where you can find this product. Now this power station is a sine wave, which simply is a smoother, cleaner output of energy. So let me get this thing unboxed. We'll look at the battery capacity and see if we need to charge it. So this is how it came. We're sitting right at 53%. I think it was 52. I've got it plugged into the wall outlet to 110 volt and it's charging. Now you can see the input. It's 1523 watts. That's coming into the thing to charge it. Got no output. I've got nothing plugged in. Really looking forward to using this. All right, we got this thing charged up. It didn't take that long to bring it up from 52% on up to 100. So powered on, you just hit the on switch. So you can see it is at 100%. It's got no draw coming in, no draw coming out. So this power station has a 2500 watt continuous power output and a 4000 watt peaking output. So this thing will run quite a few things for a while, and we're gonna be testing this thing out on the homestead quite a bit. So inside this power station, it has a lithium ion battery. That is a 45 amp hour at 48 volts. So this power station does weigh 55 pounds, and the overall dimensions, 14.5 tall, 18.5 wide, and 11 inches deep. So this power station does have 6 USB-A ports and 3 USB-C ports. And on the USB-C, you have 100 watt and 2 45 watts. And on the USB-A ports, you have 2 18 watt and 4 5 volt 2.4 amp outlets. So to use the USB plugs, just take your charger, stick it in, plug in your device, and then you're gonna hit this USB button and it's gonna activate these plugs. So the phone is now charging through the cable, and you can see the output going to the phone. We got 8 watts, 9 watts, all going to the phone. Now something else that's pretty cool on this power station is it has wireless charging. So here's the wireless charger up here. To activate it, you're gonna hit the wireless charger button. Then you can see a little icon popped up for the wireless charging. Then all you're gonna do, take your device, stick it over there, and it's charging. And you can see the output for the wireless charger. We're at 5 watts, 11, it's going to fluctuate around. Now this does also have a 12 volt outlet right here that you're going to use for DC power. Like if you have a spotlight or a electric fillet knife or anything like that, you can plug it right in here and run it from that. Now this 12 volt DC plug here is also a 100 watt output. Now since this power station does weigh 55 pounds, it's got 2 carrying handles, one on each side. You can just pick it up, set it wherever, or it's got wheels on the end and a handle. You push that button, this handle slides out just like your luggage would, and you can just pull it around. If you got concrete or asphalt, this thing's gonna roll real easy. It will also roll in the dirt. That makes it a whole lot handier to transport this thing when you can roll it. So you depress a little button on top, and it's got these little latches here on the side. You can just slide this thing down. Locks into place. Now as far as AC outputs go, it has 4 110 volt outlets here on the side. Each one of the outputs does have a little rubber cover over it. You can flip everything up. Now being a 2500 watt machine with 4 110 volt AC outlets, 6 USB-A ports, and 3 USB Type-C ports, and the 12 volt DC power outlet makes this portable power station a very versatile piece of equipment around the homestead. Now charging this thing is very simple, and they give you multiple options. First option is a 110 volt power cord that plugs directly into the machine right here in the center. Now the second option to charge this power station is in your car. You can plug this into your 12 volt outlet of your vehicle, plug this in right here. So if you're out traveling or in your vehicle or anything like that, you can have this thing charging while you're away. Now the third way that you can charge this is actually with solar panels. Now JXWVU also sells solar panels that would plug directly into this. So when you're out and about working or in between jobs, this thing can be charging. So they really do give you a wide range of options to charge this thing to whatever fits your needs. So you can see here, you've got the solar and the car charger that'll plug right into here. You've got the AC plug for your regular wall outlet to charge there. And you also have a 15 amp overload protection circuit breaker. Now as far as protections go on this power station, it actually has several features. It's got short circuit protection, which is going to cut the circuit off if it detects a short. It's got an overcharge protection that's automatically going to cut the charging off once the battery reaches 100%. So it does have overpower protection as well. If it senses something drawing too much power, it'll automatically shut that circuit down. It's got a temperature protection, so if this thing gets way too hot, it's got a built-in safety feature that's going to shut it down. It's also got overcurrent and overvoltage protection. So all the built-in protections that this thing has is to keep the power station safe and your equipment safe. Here is all of the protections that this power station has. So let's try this thing out and see how it works on some different tools. And be on the lookout for other videos in the future. I'm going to be using this thing quite a bit here on the Homestead, testing it out and seeing what it'll do. So I'll update you guys along the way to let you know how this thing's holding up. Okay, I've got some portable LED work lights. We're just going to hook up to this thing and see how the AC outlets work. Okay, I've got my 110 plug. Come over here to the end, open up one of these outlets and plug it in. Okay, that's plugged in. We can turn this device on right here. Device is on. Now to send power to your AC outlets, you're going to have to hit the AC button and you'll have a light that'll come on letting you know that that circuit is powered up. Okay, see, AC is on, the fan is kicked on and it's saying that it's got 60 hertz coming out. So you can see the output wattage is at 0. All these lights are off. I'm going to turn them on one by one and we'll see what the power output does. So here's the first light. I kicked it up to 38 watts. Here comes the second one. 83, 91. Now let's try the third one. Okay, so we got 148 watts coming out of all 3 lights. So 2500 watt power station, powering some LED work lights. Pretty sure you can run this thing for a long, long time before it gets low on power. So next up, let's just see how it does. I've got a Harbor Freight 1500 watt heat gun. Let's plug it into this thing and see how it works. Okay, it's on. Let's kick power onto the AC. AC circuit's on. Let's kick it on low first and see what it pulls. Okay, this thing's running on low and it's pulling 413, 412 watts right now. Let's kick it on high. $1,174 watts. So this thing didn't quite pull what it was advertised to pull, but that's kind of to be expected. So this is just a little bonus for y'all. Do any of y'all know how to figure amps or calculate amps? It's really simple. You take the output wattage and divide it by the voltage, and that gives you your amp draw. So just for fun, let's see how many amps this Harbor Freight heat gun was pulling. Okay, let's call it 1174 on the wattage. Divide that by 110 volts. So this thing was pulling 10.67 amps. That's just kind of a fun little quick calculation so you can figure amps. So seeing how this thing is working so far, I think I'm going to be able to run a skill saw, my table saw. I think you might be able to even power a 110 volt welder. If I can get a hold of a smaller welder to try on this thing, we're going to do it. But I think overall, if you're in an area that suffered from power outages pretty regular, something like this could run your refrigerator or your deep freeze and hopefully keep a bunch of your food from spoiling, which in turn is going to save you a bunch of money. So I know at some point the power's going to go out here and we're going to try this thing on the refrigerator and see how it works. But I think if you're around your homestead working on fence where you needed a grinder or cut off discs and you didn't have battery powered equipment, something like this is going to be real handy to allow you to run some of your power tools somewhere where there isn't any electricity. Here in the future, I'm wanting to do a cabin build down by the new pond, and if this thing works like I think it's going to, this thing's going to save me a lot of time building that cabin from not having to run my generator and worrying about making sure that thing's full of gas. And once that cabin's done, this thing could power all the lights in that cabin. Let's try this thing out with some other tools and see how it does. All right, next up is my 15 amp skill saw. So I'm going to take this thing outside so I don't make a big mess in here, and let's rip down some 2x4s and see how well it does. Okay, skill saw is plugged in. Let's turn this thing on. It is on. Let's power up the AC circuit. The AC circuit's powered on. So I'm going to fire up the skill saw and let's just see how many amps it pulls. Okay, I seen over 600 watts coming out of this thing. Let's cut some boards and let's see what it jumps up to while we're cutting. Okay, so I was cutting, got all them little pieces. I didn't see exactly what it went up to while I was cutting, but I'll see it in the editing. All right, well, I forgot to hit record, but that's okay. We're gonna cut some more. So I went and got a 2x8, since that 2x3 was simple cutting, and I cut all this stuff out of here. Many cuts, and we're only at 97%. So now that I have the record button hit, let's cut some more on this 2x8. Okay, I've made several cuts with that 15 amp skill saw. This is all just the 2x8 material. Let me go ahead and get these pieces picked up, put on the Ranger so we can get a better look at them. That was a lot of cuts on a 2x8. Some of it was off camera. I also cut a 2x3. That's it. That's current 95%. Got all this stuff cut. That is a lot of cuts in here. So this may help more visually. This is all of the cuts that I did on that 2x8 with this power station. That is a lot of cuts. I ran a heat gun and some work lamps and also cut several pieces out of a 2x3. And then I cut all of these 2x8s and we're only down 5% on this power station. So I think if you're out somewhere building and you don't have a battery powered skill saw, you're having to rely on your 110 volt skill saw, this power station is really going to help you get your work done. So again, everyone, if you're interested in a product like this, I'll go ahead and leave links down in the description box. And be on the lookout for this power station and other videos because I'm going to continue to test this thing here on the Homestead and just see what it's going to do. So I really think if you were camping, or if you suffered from power outages, or if you're working somewhere remote that didn't have access to electricity, or if you're going to a hunting camp, I think a device like this is really going to help. I know I'm really looking forward to putting this thing to work. But everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.